So today I'm going to do a whole body workout. I'm going to start off with some chest, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I train when I train multiple body parts per day. So how I work with rep ranges and how I choose my weight range and all that kind of stuff. And just so you know, here's the Train the Muscles, Not the Joints logo for the t-shirts, and I also have them available in string tank tops as well. So if you guys are interested, just click the little picture there or whatever, and it'll take you to my shop, and you can take a look and see if there's a hoodie or something like that you like, and there you go. So yeah, so today I'm going to be doing some light bench presses at first, and then I'm going to work my way up to heavier weight. So the reason why I'm going to work my way up to a heavier weight is because I've decided I'm going to do a heavier day for chest, which is kind of like my old light day, but it's because I was sick for a little bit and I haven't actually went up to 275 on bench for, you know, a good month or so. I'm a little bit shaky on the 275 today compared to usual. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just get a good warm up in, a couple sets, and make sure my range of motion is good and my groove is good. The shoulder feels good, all that kind of stuff, you know. I always make sure I get a good warm up in. And sometimes the warm up has to be longer than others, of course, just because sometimes you're feeling it and sometimes you're not, right? So again, this always boils down to how do you feel, right? So that's the basis of this channel, and that's what I always tell you guys, and I always drill it into your head, you know. You really listen to your body, right? Because if you're not listening to your body, then your body will make you listen to it, and sometimes it's pretty painful when it does. So here I am, just going to be making 275 for a few reps here, and the whole point is just go intense and get as many reps as I can. Now usually I'm around 12 reps with this, you know, anywhere from 11 to 14 reps depending on how good my groove is. But as you can see, you know, I'm a little bit weaker right now, but that's okay. You know, sometimes when you get the flu or you get sick, you lose some weight, and the whole point is not to get discouraged. All you do is just keep on training through it anyway, as long as everything feels good. Just understand when your immune system's fighting something for a little while, you will lose a little bit of strength, but it's just momentary. It comes back really quick. And at the time I'm making this video, my strength has already come back. It's just that I haven't actually, done any more footage yet with my bench press. But the next time you see me do bench, you'll actually see that my bench press rep range will go up quite a bit. You know, so yeah, it's just that's the way it is. So anyway, today I decided I'm going to do, you know, a heavier chest day. You know, so that's the whole point. I'm going to do a heavier chest day. So some people are saying, you know, how do you choose what rep range, you know, for each body part? And do you do heavy days, light days? You know, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do a heavy day on one body part, or maybe two body parts, and then the other body parts that I train will be more of a light day, you know, and you'll see that I'll be progressively lighter when it comes down to the other exercises that I'm doing for the other body parts. So now I'm just getting a good little pump, you know, just repping out with 225 after doing 3 or 4 sets of 275. And this is standard protocol for me sometimes, especially when I want to make sure that I get a good pump, you know. So this is not something I do every single time, but you know, it's pretty regular, like I do it quite a bit. So anyway, try it out if you want. It's by no means necessary, and it's not necessarily a powerlifting technique. If you're a powerlifter, you probably wouldn't want to waste the energy on that, you know, so it just depends what your goals are, right? Your goals probably aren't to chat in between sets either, but I make sure that's a goal of mine, and I'm sure most people wish I'd just shut up. So anyway, so today I'm just going to be doing some lat pull downs, and I'm doing light. And, you know, I used to do really heavy. I used to, you know, do chin-ups with 90 pounds between the legs or 45 pounds hanging from the waist, all this kind of stuff. But that was before the labral tear on my right shoulder. So now there's a little bit of instability when the arm comes up. So that's why I don't straighten all the way up. Not that I'd recommend straightening anyway. But I don't hang just from, you know, the top of the range of the motion when it comes to lat pull down, or I don't hang down from the chin-up bar, especially now more than ever, just because I have a labral tear on the top of my shoulder. So what that means is that the shoulder will pop out the top if I relax the muscle. So anyway, there is an advantage to that, because there's always an advantage if you listen to the body. And I don't have to go as heavy in order to get a really good lat workout, because a lot of my back muscles are actually really stabilizing the joint more so than ever before. So some of you might actually have the same issue. But the fact is, my shoulders feel pretty good, but I don't have to, you know, be lat pulling 200 pounds or 250 pounds in order to actually get a good back workout, you know. There you go. Is there any cobras in your gym? I think there's a cobra in this gym. You know, watch out. Watch out for the venom, man. Watch out for the venom. Anyway. So yeah, it's just, I did about, I think 4 sets of lat pull downs. 3 to 5 sets usually. So usually with the big body parts, like say chest, back, and the legs, I'll stick to 3 to 5 sets. And sometimes with chest and back, because I want to work on them a little bit more and it doesn't take as much energy, I'll do a few more sets sometimes. But with legs, sometimes I'm gassed by the time 3 sets to failure, So it just depends on how intense you train and what's going on with your body at the time. And if you train legs more often, you'll notice that you're a little bit sore when you go into the gym. So it doesn't take you quite as long to get gassed out from your workout, right? So the reason why I like the frequent training is because I'm always training a little bit sore, not too sore. If you train too sore, then it's almost counterproductive. But if you're tiny bit sore, then you get a pretty good pump. And then you'll also notice in some of my workout routines, you'll see that sometimes I go to half a day, like I'll do chest, back, and arms one day, and then I'll do shoulders, tris, and legs on another day. Chest, back, bis, actually, to be specific. So I'll split the body into 2 different days. And then other times I'll do just a chest day, or just a back day, although that's more rare. So again, I don't stick to any one thing and say that's the only way to train. It's just that what way is it right for you right now? That's the most important thing. So always listen to your body and always listen to yourself. And that's really what you're in this game for. You're in this game to listen to your body more and more and more, not to just follow routines that are given to you, but as you follow the routine, you build more awareness of the body, and you'll find out exactly what range of motion is right for you. You'll find out what rep range is right for you that day, and then you'll notice that you start to contradict yourself. Some days, all of a sudden, that light day that seems to be the perfect thing for you is no longer working. Now you got to go do a heavy day. So you start to actually break your own rules. And once you start to break your own rules, that's when you go into the realm of being advanced. You're starting to become an advanced weight trainer or an advanced athlete, because you start to say, wow, I am beyond the rules. So that's just what Bruce Lee did. Bruce Lee said any, martial arts system must take into account that the individual is greater than any system. And that's exactly what I'm doing with bodybuilding. And that's exactly what I'm speaking to you about now. I'm saying that you are beyond the system. You make the system work for you. You don't work for the system. Okay? So here I am going over the shoulders, and I'm just doing some light shoulders. As you can see, this is just a warm up anyway because I'm on a machine. But the fact is, I'm just working on pumping some blood into the shoulders. It's going to be light work, just like I did with the lap hold-ons. I did some light work. I'm going to do some light shoulder work, and then I'll probably end up going to light bicep, light tricep, and some light legs. I did the heavy chest. So then the next day after this, I may do a heavier leg day, or a heavier back day, or a heavier arm day. It just depends, and I'll kind of cycle through my body parts that way. So I'm not actually pounding myself to death with heavy weights on my nervous system. I'm just doing what feels right at the time. So good from the light machine shoulder press, I went over to incline dumbbell curl. And the point is just to, again, get a good pump on this. And I got from different angles. I got, from the front and back, so you can actually see, what I'm doing. And the point is of an incline curl is that you're stretching the long head of the bicep. You're getting a little bit of a good stretch in there, and you're not, hitting the brachialis so much. You're hitting more the brachii, So yeah, this is one of my favorite bicep curl exercises, and I'd encourage you to try it out if you haven't tried it out already. Now you can squeeze them slowly, or you can, do faster reps, and I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll really concentrate on the eccentric portion of the rep, and then sometimes I'll be, swinging a little bit more just to get past the weak part of the curve, so that way I can really get that good squeeze at the top. So it's really up to you. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, each way will just develop different parts of the bicep, or at least challenge different parts of the muscle and different heads of the muscle. Now this is something some of you might be interested in. Tricep press downs. I mean, a lot of people think there's one way to do these, but there's multiple ways again. If you'll notice that the cable is actually going out on an angle. The reason why is because I'm trying to hit the long head of the tricep here. I'm not trying to work on the head that's close to the elbow. Although if I take a few paces forward and then focus on just bending the elbow as much as possible towards my chin and then letting the bar come up really high, yeah, you will hit the inner head of the tricep more. But, and this is a big thing, but there's a reason why a lot of guys are running around with sleeves on their elbows, because they've got elbow problems. It's because they've actually used too much of a range of motion to hit that inner head, and what ends up happening is they end up hurting the bursa in the elbow, or causing a little bit of extra stress on there than is necessary in order to get a tricep pump. So again, if you are going to do extreme range of motion, like as you notice right here, I'm doing like a giant set. I'm stepping back more, and then I'm coming forward, and then I'm going to do a little bit more range of motion on the tricep there, and just find my groove. And here's usually where I stay. I usually stay with those small short ranges to hit the outer head. But if I come up more, then I will hit the inner head, So it's a matter of making sure that when you do feel the muscle, you're actually feeling the muscle itself, but not the elbow. Okay, if you're feeling the elbow, that means something has to change. If you're feeling all the stress right in the elbow joint, that means you have to either bring your elbows forward, or you need to, reduce the range of motion, or something needs to change. A lot of times people think, no, if I'm feeling my elbow, that just means I should just work through it. Well, no, it usually means that you need to adjust the technique for you, and you'll get a lot more mileage out of your training that way. So you can see I just did some full range reps, and now I'm just doing some partials here just to hit that outer head of the tricep. Okay, so there's a method to my madness there. There's a reason why I'm doing that. And of course, now I get to enjoy the pump. Yeah. So here you can see that I'm stripping the weight again just to hit absolute failure. So I'm trying to hit all the different heads of the tricep as much as I can. And sometimes the angle will change of the rope. Sometimes I'll make sure it goes just straight up and down more, and then sometimes I'll step back and get that long head. So it just depends on where I'm experiencing fatigue. If I've got total fatigue somewhere, then I'll try to transfer the stress to a different head, and then you get this pump. See, yeah. So anyway, then I went from triceps over to one-legged squats, and today I just wanted to just do a really lightweight workout just to stretch the legs out but get the blood in there. And one of the reasons why I do this is because I find that it's a lot easier to motivate myself to get to the gym when I know I'm doing light workouts. So once you've done a few light workouts, it's pretty easy to get motivated to do a heavy workout day, because there's lots of blood in the legs. It doesn't feel like you're fighting leg tightness and stuff, because I find pumping blood in there actually helps get the legs more flexible, helps them feel like they're mobile and everything, so then it's easier to get into the groove when it comes to squatting and stuff, right? I found that also when I only train legs once a week or something, it was almost like I was fighting being out of shape, because your heart rate goes through the roof and everything, so a lot of times you just couldn't push yourself fast enough. You see how fast I'm going here? See? I can put the weights on really fast. It's all because I've been training my legs more frequently. So I'm just going to be staying with one plate per side for one-legged squats. And once again, like light workout, just keep pumping the blood. And, I found that this gives me more results than constantly having to go heavy and just train once a week or whatever. But again, I've been known to contradict myself because, I'll go through periods of time where I'm doing the whole body workouts, and then I'll go through periods of time where I just train one body part at a time and do, lots of sets and basically work on the volume approach. So yeah, just cycling your training is necessary, you know, but you'll find that you'll probably settle into one main way that you train most of the time, and then you'll you know, vary it up once in a while, and you'll start training, you know, high volume or low volume or whatever it is that's out of the norm for you from time to time. It's almost a break, right? So I'll train super frequent sometimes for 2 weeks at a time, and then I'll go into lower frequency for a few days, almost to give myself a break or take a few days off or extra days off. And then I'll come right back into the high frequency again, because it just seems to be the right thing for me. But again, you know, some people, if they have, you know, say they have more fast twitch fiber content, or they have a tendency to be able to push themselves with heavier weights more often, you know, this might be too frequent for them. So you really got to work with what's right for you and what your goals are, right? Now, one of the problems with working out in the gym and doing videos of yourself, I mean, you're sitting there minding your own business, just making your own little video here. You know, you always get these yahoos, or, you know, guys named Jazz, you know, specifically Jazz. Yeah, I know that's you. Just trying to video bomb my videos and just show their physiques. Of course, the camera knows exactly what the priority is. The camera knows who's important in this shot, knows who the star is. So, of course, I'm still in the shot. So, yeah, take that, Jazz. I don't care. You know, you can take your veiny arms and go somewhere else. Yeah, okay, there. Yeah, okay, that's good, Jazz. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, thanks. Okay, good. Exit stage left. Yeah. Great, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching my video, and if you have any questions, just post them down in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Do it your way. Now you know my name. Calling me in a drought. I came to Ridge in 215 and sorted it all out.